The repairs were close to about $180,000. The Spyker drew kind of an interesting list of owners because it was so unique. There were a handful of celebrities that really they felt like it fit their personality. Missy Elliott had one, Akon had one, and then most people don't know, but J-Lo had one. And she had a very, very early car. She fell in love with the car, and again, to her, it was a piece of jewelry. It was like a silver blue, like a baby blue, almost silverish kind of color. It was really pretty. And she loved the car. And I'm not sure where that car is now, but it pops up every once in a while. But it was, like I said, it was a very early car, but it was wrecked at one point. And I get a call from a body shop in Manhattan and said, hey, we have a car here. We heard that you're the guy to get parts for it. And so he sends me pictures of J-Lo's car, and the front end is just dent, broken headlight, broken windshield, all these things. And I'm like, what happened? So apparently she was driving in Manhattan with the car, and there was a truck in front of her with a load of like rocks, like big boulders. They had been doing construction, and something happened, and the truck took a turn, and all the rocks came out and bounced off the ground and bounced all over the front end of her car, which would be scary as hell to me in a normal car. But you take it one step further now. The Spyker's a very small, open top, windshield is completely exposed. I couldn't even imagine the level of frightening it was, for her being not just a celebrity, but any person having these boulders come at you on your car and then just litter all over the car and destroy things. The problem with her car was that she had a very, very early car, and what we called a CPP car. It was built like this Coventry prototype. Because each one of those cars were built one at a time, they were literally built from the ground up as one car. So the panels were fitted for that car. Now, as the later cars came on, the pieces were built and you could interchange fenders and things like that and other body panels. But the early cars, and I think her car was 26, if I remember correctly. And again, you couldn't just, hey, the guy in the body shop's like, I need a windshield, I need a fender, I need a headlight. I'm like, whoa. I was like, I don't know if you realize what you have there, but that's not happening. He's like, well, you can't just send me a fender. I was like, no. So then I have to get involved with the insurance company because the insurance company didn't realize at the time what it was they had insured. They just thought it was an exotic car. They said it's worth this much money. It's no big deal. And I was like, look, I can't, like, well, we need a parts list, and how much is this repair going to be? And I was like, there is no parts list. There's no part numbers on that car. I was like, we either need to send it back to the Netherlands and have them take it apart and rebuild it from new. And we end up finding a body shop that specialized in NSXs because at the time that was the only other car that had body panels were made out of aluminum, and you really needed to be a craftsman. Even to fix a car as highly technical as an NSX, if it had even so much as a dent, most of your paintless dent removal guys didn't know how to handle it. Most body shops weren't equipped to deal with aluminum. You had to have a fabricator or a guy that had worked on these older race cars that knew how to work a French wheel, that knew how to work these these hand-built parts. It took over a year to fix that car between how to showing them how to take the car apart a certain way and how to get to the panels a certain way and get them apart to where they could get them repaired, getting a windshield for that car and getting it fitted. I mean, everything. The car had to be rebuilt from hand, and we had to take it to a number of really high-end specialists here in the U.S. because they didn't want to ship it to the Netherlands. So at the time, this was 2008, 2009, the estimate that we, between man hours, the few parts that we could source, like the headlights and the windshield, were somewhat available, but they were extremely expensive and very rare, and even the factory didn't want to ship it over. But the repairs were close to about $180,000 when everything was all said and done. It's not like the front end was destroyed. It was just dented enough to where there was a crack in the windshield, and there was a dent here and a dent there, but those panels were essentially ruined, and they had to be put back. But the nice thing about aluminum is it's generally fixable to an extent. She sold it right after that. Yeah, she ended up she was, I don't know if it was about she was scared of the car or the fact that it was destroyed, but she didn't want to be attached to that. It never really got out into the news because it was very quiet very quickly. But yeah, no, she didn't keep the car. It went to another collector when it was repaired, and like I said, it shows up occasionally. I'll get a call. Hey, I've got this car. I don't know what it is. I don't know how to fix it. I don't know what parts are on it. And then I see what car it is, and I'm like, that's J-Lo's old car. So it's changed hands a few times since then, but it's still kicking around here in the U.S. The celebrities that own those cars, Missy Elliott had hers, and she had a jeweler custom make a medallion, I guess, to where, because the key on the Spyker is made out of aluminum. It's a very unique looking keyless entry button, and it's a solid block of aluminum with a window on the back where you can see the electronics. And again, Missy's, who's an amazing car enthusiast and just a great person, she really definitely gets it, and she knows what she likes. She had this piece of jewelry made so she could put the key for the Spyker in it and turn it into a big medallion that she used to wear on her neck. And then like Akon took his car, and it was our old press car, and he took it and had the whole interior redone in white and had the Convict music put on the dash. And at the time he thought it was going to be nice. It was this plain white interior, and it was going to be really pretty, and it was beautiful at the time, but he didn't realize that once you started driving it, that white leather would reflect off the windshield and you couldn't see. It was so bright in the sunlight that you got snowblind from your eyes, and then the reflection of the windshield. So that car didn't get driven a whole lot. He just would take it to shows here and there and show up at night somewhere with it. I heard there was a rumor that John Cena had one. I don't know how he fit in it, but there was a rumor that he had one in Florida, because there was one that would get seen around Sarasota. I never saw him in it and got confirmation. I did hear from people that they would see Spykers driving around Sarasota, and I know he lived there, so it's a good possibility he did. It was kind of a unique car that a lot of the celebrities, a lot of the athletes, Ben Roethlisberger had one. There were some other sports guys that gravitated towards it, because I guess if you're going to pull up to the locker room, you got to pull up in something different. And there were rumors that Ed sold a pre-owned one to Scott Disick from the Kardashians.
Are you looking for the perfect gift for yourself or the automotive enthusiast in your life this holiday season? Well, look no further than Celebrity Machines. They make metal stamped, screen accurate replicas of the license plates that you'll see on the cars in the movies and television shows that you love. They've got almost every one you could possibly imagine. And in fact, if you've gotten one of our Car Trek license plates or the Japanese license plate from my Lamborghini Diablo SV, those were also from Travis. So you may already have some Celebrity Machines license plates hanging up in your garage or in the background of your Zoom calls. But regardless, check them out now. If you go to the link in the description below or use the code VINwiki at checkout, they're going to give you 20% off of your order. So check them out now, get some great gifts, and thank them for their support of VINwiki.